How's it going, everybody? Brendan Schutte with Mid-Sota Media and Guide Service here. And we're on a bigger lake up here in Ottertail County. We're in the middle of the spawn, but what's happening is we just had a cold front push through last night, and I went and checked the pencil reeds, see if there's any fish in there. There was some males hanging around in there, but they were just not willing to bite. So what I'm doing is I went out to the nearest weed line, and the weed line starts in about 5-6 feet, and it's a little too thick to troll through. So all I'm doing, I just moved out a little bit further, and I'm just trolling this crappie thumper jig with a little spinner on it, and it's producing today. Pike like it too, which is unfortunate because lost a couple already, but what do you do? Yeah, I'm just winging it out behind the boat and going about, I don't know, anywhere from 0.8 to a mile an hour, and just slow rolling it across the top of these weeds. And there's one right there. This one feels pretty good. Ooh, this is a good fish. This is a real good fish. Good 11-incher right there. As you can see, I mean, these fish are in there. They got their spawning colors on them, got their tuxedos starting to show, but it's just not a day to go, you know, be plucking them out of the pencil reeds. They're just not, the fish that are in there are just not really willing to bite. So we'll just move out to the nearest weed line, catching these babies. It'll take about 5-6 home per meal. Yeah, this is just such a fun way to catch fish. You can cover a lot of ground. You know, and I'm using live scope up front, but when you get, you know, into this 8, 9, 10 feet of water and the weeds are really thick, unless the fish are suspended above those weeds, it's really hard to pick through them. So that's why we're just covering ground and just getting those fish to chase that bait. Oh, there's missed another one. There he goes. Just perfect size eater fish. You know, my standard is any fish that's over, you know, that 12-inch range, I just don't keep those fish. Those are the good breeder fish you're always going to want in the lake. And so if you're keeping those 10s, 11s, I mean, those are perfect crappies for frying. Jesus, there's another one. This looks like a good one. Oh, he just choked it too. And these are just the perfect size crappies for eating. Oh, another one. And they are just stacked right in here. Oh, little guy. Yeah, just a 16th ounce jig. It's got the little spinner on there just to give it a little more flash. And, you know, just slow rolling it right across the tops of these weeds. And those fish are just staging out here, and they're feeding. And surprising for a day like today, we had a cold front come through last night, and it's cloudy today. Just not your typical good panfish day. But last day I'm up here for the weekend and wanted to come up here and give it a whirl, and yeah, it didn't take me long, and they were here. I got one bumping me here. You know, you could anchor up and, you know, pitch floats and do that, but I think the way it looks on my live scope is the fish that I am seeing, they're kind of scattered, and you'll hit pockets of them where there's just, you know, 5-6 fish chilling in there. And there's one. And what I'm doing is just targeting those active fish. That's a female. Looks like she's still got some eggs in her. If you can see that or not. Yeah, these are just all good cookie cutter fish. I mean, you can't beat these at all. Here, I'll show you exactly kind of the structure that I am going over. So you can kind of see where I'm trolling around. That red is super shallow water. It's like 5 feet. And then right here, those are the weeds. And I'm in about, it's actually about 11 feet, but the weeds come up to 8 feet. And I'm just slow rolling over the tops of those weeds. There you can kind of see a fish flickering in and out right there over the top. Yeah, that's all we're doing here. We're gonna turn back around and go right back through there again. It's just a real easy technique. You know, covering a lot of ground and catching a lot of fish. You know, everybody kind of has the notion, you know, for catching crappies, you know, find a weed line, you know, find them in the reeds, and they just want to anchor up and pitch bobbers. And don't get me wrong, I like seeing a float go down just as much as anybody else. But if you want to catch good aggressive crappies, troll these little plastics, you know, with a spinner. Troll, you know, I use Selma Hornets, you know, they're a mini crankbait. It's like a number 3 crankbait. They dive down about 3 to 5 feet. Yeah, and I might try that today too, but I think I might get hung up in the weeds a little more than what I want. So I'm just gonna keep trolling this this little crappie thumper jig, and I mean, it's working. You hit a spot and it's just lights out. I mean, they crush it. There's one. And these are just those younger males that haven't got a chance to get up to spawn yet. I think what I'm going to end up doing is try and find those bigger fish. You know, we might find them staging a little bit further in. You know, when you get those warmer days, when the water temps rise up, and it's just that perfect situation for them to spawn. And you know, those fish might be just in a little bit shallower. And these younger, smaller fish are hanging out on the deep weed edge. Another one. He's got some good fight to him. Beauty. That's a good 10.5, 11-inch fish all day long. Can't beat it. Yeah, it's just a really simple setup. I mean, if you have another one, you just go through a certain little area and there's just, you know, a few fish hanging in those weeds, just pockets of them. And he inhaled this one too. Goodness. Good fish. All I'm using, I mean, you can use any brand rod that you desire. I mean, for trolling crappies like this, you don't need anything too expensive, too crazy. I just prefer these ACC crappie sticks. Geez, another one. I'm gonna mark that spot. A lot of fish in there. The reason I like these rods is they have such a great backbone and a good sensitive tip on the end. So if I do use this rod for vertically jigging, anything like that, it's just a great all-around rod. And the stiff backbone to me is key. I love flipping crappies in the boat. I hate using like a noodle rod where you get those bigger fish on and you can't hoist them in. I mean, you're almost feels like you're going to break the rod off. And so yeah, these rods, this is just a 7'6" simple setup, and they're a good, you know, middle class rod, I want to call them. They're not super high end on the price. Another fish. Ooh. Boy's got some fight to him. Let's go that way. There's another one. Man alive. Waiting for Big Mama to show up here yet. Yeah, just good old cookie cutter fish. There's another one here. Oh no. Oh, Mr. Pike. Oh, I hate you. I just had a pike break me off. I mean, that type of thing happens, especially when you're using flashy stuff like this. But yeah, all I'm using is yeah, just the Johnson Crappie Buster, 1/16 ounce. Got this little spinner on it. I'm gonna try a different color. I'm just gonna go with pure white and a pink head, and to see if that actually makes a difference in the fish. I really don't think it's gonna, the way these fish are acting today. And see what happens. The thing about fishing, all you can do is try. I've had that happen plenty of times with crappies. You know, sometimes it seems like you could throw a plain hook with bubble gum on it and they're gonna hit it. But there's a fish. Apparently it doesn't matter. That's a good one right there. That is a good one. Elite. Now these fish are just scattered in here, and it's like I said before, it's not that I'm seeing, you know, a whole pod of them in one area, because I have my live scope up front, and before I started recording this, you know, these fish were, you just see like ones and twos here and there, but the water is fairly clear. That's why I opted to go with this setup. They can see this bait from a long ways away, with that, especially with that little flash on there. There's another good one. Another good one. He can go back. There we go. Color doesn't matter today. It's just a matter of putting it in front of them, using the right presentation to draw those fish in out of the weeds. We are hooking up today. Now, if you guys want to come on a guided fishing trip with me, I'm going to do about 10 trips this summer. I'm going to start about June 1st, somewhere in there. And weekdays only, just to avoid the boater traffic and jet ski traffic, all that good stuff. And just ensures a good, safe day in the water. And we're going to target these babies: black crappies, white crappies, and bluegills. And I promise you we're going to have a lot of fun. We'll catch a lot of fish. So shoot me a message if you guys want to come out for a day. I can take 2 people in the boat, and we'll have some fun. Thanks, guys.